I was born in the 70s, in the mid 70s. And I remember as a secondary school student in Nigeria in late 80s and early 90s, we heard about HIV. And HIV was really, really something scaring, like a monster. Most of us were so scared of HIV, like some of us were even dreaming of HIV. I'm telling you, like people were so scared of HIV when it came out, when we heard of it as a secondary school a student then. And after school, some people went, started having this stuff, like, that's what I'm talking about, without marriage. People started, indulging in sexual acts without marriage. And when it now comes to them going to do a test, HIV test, a lot of people were scared. People were not going to do the test. They rather don't do the test than do it and find out that they had HIV. And I remember the first time I did HIV test. That was should be like over 21 years ago. And I had someone I was dating then. He came from abroad and he said I should do HIV test. And this, I was like, gosh, I have never done this test before. I was so scared because a lot of us that had, you had something going on and you were not married and, you're involved in all these things, and a lot of people were scared, even those people that were married, because they will tell you that if you go and barb your hair in a salon, you can get it. People can get it through prick of injection. A lot of theories then was ongoing. So, and I was so scared. I went to the lab. They took my blood. I did not sleep for then. I don't know how it is now. Now it is more like, 20, this is over 21 years ago that I'm talking about. Over 22 years ago, right? And then you go to the lab, they'll take your blood. You wait for like 3 days before you can get the HIV test results. So that 3 days was hell. It was hell. I was so scared, like, what? Then I started praying. I don't know whether anybody had this experience, but I started praying. I started asking God for forgiveness. Started praying, God have mercy, God have mercy, God have mercy. Negative. The test must not be positive. You understand? So I was really scared. In the day I was supposed to get that result, I went to the lab and I got the result. It was negative. I was so excited. I remember I had to dash the lab lady some money. I was so excited. It was like as if I was going to throw a party. So that was my story doing HIV test the first time. And when I got married and I started having kids, as a pregnant woman, HIV was just compulsory. They would do it amongst all other tests, that they do for you as a pregnant woman. Another thing is I want to talk about is genotype. So genotype was another thing that people, when you are getting married, they'll tell you do HIV test. You guys should do HIV test, do genotype. And some people were scared. I remember a friend of mine who the boyfriend then told her that he was AA, and whereas this guy was AS, and they let her find I don't know how the guy finally confessed to her that he was lying or something. And it was very disturbing. This lady was crying and everything. They ended up not getting married because my friend was AS and the guy AS as well. So, but I want to bring an awareness. I know people don't talk about this. Even growing up as a young girl, having a boyfriend and all of that, I didn't even hear of herpes, the big H. I didn't hear of herpes at all. It was just a little about HIV and genotype. HIV and genotype. Even in church, before you get married, they will advise you in marriage counseling to do pregnancy test, HIV, genotype. So genotype was really compulsory so that you not bring sickle cell anemia children into the world and all of that. But nobody was talking about the big H, which is herpes. Herpes is something that before you get married or before you go into a relationship with someone, you have to also do that herpes test. Because herpes that is also sexually transmitted. And the funny part of herpes is with the first episode or the first attack, I think they are able to, in medications, is able to do something about it so that it will not be reoccurring. I'm not 100% sure, I'm not a medical doctor, but herpes is sexually transmitted, and once somebody has it, it is forever. It doesn't have a cure as well. The person is always down. Most times, when the person is stressed, emotionally down, whatsoever it is, and the person is always having these blisters, heartbreak, and all of that you know, in your VJJ, as a woman. And that is so terrible. It is emotionally disturbing and all of that for the woman. She has to take that, continue to deal with that all her life. It doesn't have a cure. Herpes does not have a cure. But the person can take antiviral medications, and it will only reduce the episodes or reduce the pain and all of that comes with it. But it doesn't really have a cure. So that is what I am bringing, the awareness in this video, that it's not about genotype, it's not about HIV. There are other things, sexually transmitted disease that is everywhere. Herpes is one, the big H, that when someone, you get into a relationship, you did not do any test, or you just go and do HIV and genotype, and you think, oh, we are good, and the man that has herpes, the man is recessive, right? It's recessive, so it will not show in his penis, that those outbreak and everything might not show, so you will not even know. But once the man start having something with you, as the woman, you just pick it up, and before you know what is happening, you start having blisters, and it doesn't have a cure. It is so bad. So it is good for people to do both HIV, genotype, and herpes, and some others, thorough testing before you get into having something with someone, or So guys, I don't want to talk so much on this video, but I just want to let you guys know that I'm back, and thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you've never been a subscriber, and share this video if you feel like. And I gradually coming. I don't want to say I'll be uploading every day, but I will definitely try to be consistent as from this time. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye.